Hi, welcome back to Lead with Love. I put my glasses on it's to look smarter. We're in the daylight. But in this video, I'm going to talk about higher consciousness. What is higher consciousness? I have the Google terms, and then I did find an article on higher consciousness. It's by the School of Life, Self-Knowledge, and Emotional Skills. This is all spiritual stuff. You have to do your own research. You have to look up your own definitions and your own stuff. But on this channel, I look it up. I find the articles and I put them in the description box. So you can always just click on the description box and you can see it for yourself. With the Google search, there's no way I can attach the Google search on there. So I have to cut and paste like what I'm looking up or what I'm talking about. So, and then the first one, what is the meaning of higher consciousness? Higher consciousness is the consciousness of God, or part of the human mind that is capable of transcending animal instincts. You're probably like, what? Like, it's your higher self. It's a higher part of the mind. It's the unconscious part of the mind, the part of the mind that you don't use. What is your higher self? Is a term associated with multiple belief systems, but its basic premise describes an eternal, omnipotent, conscious, and intelligent being who is one's real self. Blavatsky. That must be someone that termed it. Formally defined the higher self as the Atma, the inseparable ray of the universe and oneself. So it's a part of you, but it's a part of yourself. So it's your higher self. And in order for you to get to your higher self, you have to reach a certain level of consciousness. That's how when I say grow, heal, and evolve, you have to grow, heal, and evolve and get to a higher self. So that's that higher self. Let's go. What happens before a spiritual awakening? Because that usually happens when you get to your higher self. You're older, you're more aware of what's going on. And let me just read it. What happens before a spiritual awakening? You begin to clear things out of your life, like habits, relationships, and old belief systems, and invite new, more enriching things. That's like when you release what doesn't serve you. You have to get rid of all the old things, all the things that were doing you no good, no justice in your life. You just have to get rid of it, eliminate it out of your life so that you can welcome in the new. Welcome in more enriching things. You get rid of all of those bad habits, drinking, smoking, bad relationships, friends, your belief systems, your way of thinking even changes. You may feel like something is missing, but you haven't quite figured it out yet. During this phase, it's common to feel lost, confused, and down. You can feel down, but you're not down. So, and then let me go to higher self. Well, these were the Google meanings of some things. And when I do the Google search, like when you do your own Google search and you search up higher consciousness, you're going to find all these terms and all these things associated, like the 5 levels of consciousness. How do you get to higher consciousness? It's like it's a list of 7 things. So it's like when you do your own Google search, you can search through it, like scroll up and look at all of these different terms that they have for spiritual awakening and consciousness, pure consciousness. Pure consciousness is our spiritual essence, being infinite and unbounded. That means you're not tied to anything. It is also pure joy, happiness. Other attributes of consciousness are pure knowledge, infinite silence, perfect balance, invincibility, simplicity, and bliss. This is our essential nature. That's what pure consciousness is. That's what it is. But I'm going to go into the article. So I'm 5 minutes in. Oh my God. And I'm going to just talk about it within the article on higher consciousness. The term higher consciousness is often used by spiritually minded people to describe important but hard to reach mental states. It's like in Hindu, Christian, monks, Buddhists, ascetics all speak of reaching moments of higher consciousness through meditation, chanting, fasting, or pilgrimages. Fasting does help because it's a form of discipline. You have to discipline yourself, you have to discipline your body. So fasting does help you achieve the consciousness. You have to fast and you have to have a goal. Like, say I'm gonna fast for 3 days, just drink water. For 3 days. That's not long. That's not, you can do it for a day to see how far you can go. See if you can hang. See if you can hang for a day. It's hard for some people, but then, once your body gets used to it, then it becomes easier. But back to the article. Unfortunately, the way in which these spiritual people discuss their states of higher consciousness has a tendency to put a lot of specular types on edge because it's different. It's not regular stuff. It's something that you do within yourself. You train yourself. You train your body. It can all sound maddeningly vague, wishy-washy, touchy-feely, and for want of a better word, annoying. What on earth these gurus really mean? They always say you're crazy. Oh my God. But we deeply sympathize with these frustrations, not being by nature particularly attracted to the ineffable or the mysterious. However, it seems that the idea of higher consciousness is a fact, a very interesting one, which has nothing inherently to do with spirituality and can be defined simply enough in strictly rational and secular terms. This is how we see it. As human beings, we spend most of our lives functioning in states of lower consciousness. That's the low vibes. You want to, where what we are principally concerned with is ourselves, our survival, and our own success, narrowly defined. Like, you only think about yourself. You think of the 3D. You don't think of reaching higher levels of consciousness. It's not selfish, but it's not something that you think about, not something that you practice, not something that you worry about. Spirit, let's go back. Ordinary life avoids practical, introspective, just self-justifying outlooks. Let's see. This is a long article. It didn't tell me how long it was, though. Higher consciousness is a huge triumph over the primitive mind, which can be evasive and any such possibilities. Ideally, we will be a little more alive to the advantages of this higher mind and strive to make our oceanic experiences somewhat less random and less clothed in unnecessary mystery. Wow. States of higher consciousness are, of course, desperately short-lived. We shouldn't in any case aspire to make them permanent because they don't sit so well with the many important practical tasks we all need to attend to. Like, you have to live life. You have to do things that you have to do. So, and then it's like meditation, yoga. You have to quiet your mind. It's like self-reflecting on yourself. Practical tasks that we need to tend to, but we should make the most of them when they arise and harvest their insights for the time when we require them most. One's life feels less precious. One can contemplate being no longer present with tranquility. One's interests are put aside and one of imaginatively fused with transient or natural things. the trees, the wind, a moth, clouds, or waves. You start paying attention to these things more. That's nature. Or breaking waves on a shore. From this point of view, status is nothing. Possessions don't matter. Grievances lose their urgency. If certain people could encounter us at this point, they might be amazed at our transformation and our newly found generosity and empathy. This is like death to the ego, you know. You have the 3D world. You think of money, clothes, cars. You think of possessions. You think of things that don't matter, you know. And then when you change into a higher consciousness, all those material things don't matter anymore. You pay attention to the trees, the wind, the moth, the sky, the clouds. Like you just pay attention to nature, and all the things that you thought mattered, they don't matter. And you start paying attention to the earth more. But higher consciousness, this takes time, it takes practice. It's self-realization. Like you have to recognize yourself, heal yourself, be calm within yourself. Like a lot of people can't sit there, they can't sit still, they can't meditate for 10 minutes, 5 minutes. That's too much for them. This takes practice. You have to practice to quiet the mind, practice fasting, practice self-discipline, because you can't control people. All you can do is control yourself and control your body. And it takes time for you to reach higher consciousness. When you meditate, you quiet the mind, just focus on your breathing. That's a way. But I'm going to put this in the description box. I'm going to put the link. I'm going to put my Google terms and meanings. And I'm going to put this article in the description box. The School of Life. This video was about higher consciousness. It didn't really go into it because a lot of sites and places, in order for you to heal, grow, evolve, it's like it takes self-reflection. You have to notice things within yourself. You have to take time out of everything else that you think matters, hanging out with your friends and doing all these things. Like sometimes you have to be by yourself so you can know yourself. And you just pay attention to the things in life. And once you reflect, you're elevating. Because you're not paying attention to the 3D things. You're not paying attention to the bar, the girls, the men hanging out. Like you're more focused on yourself and trying to make yourself better. By making yourself better is taking time out to focus on yourself, your own mental state. You want to be at higher level of consciousness. You want to be able to see things for what it is. It takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. It takes time. I always go into black magic, because black magic, these people try to kill you, but they didn't know they were making you stronger, because all the roots, all the work, it didn't work, and it just made you elevate, it made you grow, made you heal. You had to do all this by yourself. Grow, heal, and evolve. You had to pay attention to things and come to the realization. You can't be mad, can't be angry, you can't talk that shit. You just have to self-reflect on things. Well, that's what this article was for, because it's higher consciousness. Because we all want to reach the level of higher consciousness, but it takes time. Meditation is a good way. You have to meditate, drink a lot of water so that you can get to your higher self. Fasting helps also. This is just one video. I'm going to be putting up more videos about higher consciousness and your higher self, because I want everyone to know and I want everyone to reach that level of high of consciousness. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I will include all the information in the description box and the links for this article, but I will make more articles. I will make more videos on it later. So always lead with love, vibe high, and thanks for watching. Bye.